Hey guys, welcome back to Kiwi Classics and Customs. Well, this afternoon or earlier today, all Steve's metalwork came in for the back of his 54. So let's have a look, see what's going on. What do we got, Steve?
Well,
ooh, look at all this.
we got our parts from EMS Automotive.
Alright, so that's the top one there is the actual outer skin, the tail panel.
The tail panel.
Yep, and then we've got the trunk floor repair panel.
This is I guess they call it the flange trunk extension.
Okay.
And right here is where the trunk latch,
the latch goes.
will go into.
And this kind of goes under here like that.
Yes.
And that becomes the new back of the car. Try and get it in shot. Yeah, okay.
And then this
nice looking stamping.
Yes, very
Crisp
good.
And clean and heavy gauge. That's real deal 18 gauge, not 16. Not 19 or 19 and a half. And this brace, that's like a reinforcement brace goes under there.
It's the trunk brace, the last brace that goes from frame rail to frame rail.
So we're going to get a bit of stuff cut out, right? So what's the plan?
We took some measurements. It looks like the way this panel will sit in here, it's got about a half-inch.
It's got a flange stamped in it here, so that can tuck up behind the panel.
So we've just marked that to where the top part is, and then we've added our 3/4 of an inch.
Yep. And
we just got to get that cut out and start getting it fit.
So we'll cut out along that line and then down that line just inside. Just on the back side of this is a pinch weld where this panel comes around and goes forward. This panel comes across and goes forward, and it gets spot welded down here. So we're going to trim that off. Or Steve, not we. Steve's going to trim that off down there. Ready for that to go in, and that'll open up a bit more room to get in here, and all this has got to get chopped out. And that brace that we just showed you is this piece here. So yeah, that should make sense. But
yes,
yeah, that brace goes under the floor, just here, a little bit further back, and
that one will go a little bit lower than that, and then this one
drops in there.
Will come in, and
once we get rid of that outer skin, it'll be easier to work that stuff. And what about the rest of the floor? Reason we haven't got a whole trunk floor is there's a Mustang tank going in here in this area, so we're going to have a big hole in the floor. So we're just using that repair panel, which is going to bring it forward a few inches. And this is the old filler neck, this big hump here, which used to connect up to there. So what we're going to do is cut out all of this floor, to just forward of this lump, so we end up with a nice flat floor. We'll put a panel in here. We'll put the same here. We'll cut out some of the rust and stuff that we got going on. We'll cut forward of that rust hole, make a new panel across to here. Drop the repair panel on here, and then we'll have a little bit too big a hole, but we've got another a universal sort of floor pan section, which we're going to drop in there because we've got to make a custom floor to come up over this shock absorber bar and forward. So yeah, a little bit to do, a little bit of cutting and grinding and chiseling and swearing. So yeah, we'll throw the camera on that time lapse, and you can watch Steve work. That's something his wife wishes she could do, but she never gets to see him work. She's not convinced that he ever does.
This is my least favorite part though, because this makes a mess.
It does make a mess, and it's noisy and it's sweaty and all the grit sticks to you, but gotta be done. All right, back in a second. Okay, so quite a bit of trimming, sneaking up on it, 1/4 inch at a time till we get this height. Steve's got this height right now, so we think this should be good to go now. So we pop that in there. There you have it. Okay, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because that's the last piece to go in, but while we were cutting it out, might as well get it all trimmed, ready to go. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that's fitting. Once that's clamped up tight, that's you can't complain about that at all. The width is right on. This in here is just nice. Once you get that welded up, not going to take much to, yeah, tiny bit of body filler once it's welded, and it'll be awesome. Now we just got to get the inner panels in. So yeah,
just a little more work.
Let's pluck that out and start cutting. So next is the big cut across, getting all this junk out. So my suggestion is get rid of all this stuff, but come straight across here and right in that edge there, get that whole thing out. I think Sawzall will be the way to go probably. I think Sawzall through there maybe, from underneath.
Done a lot of slapping around, or?
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. You might want to use the cut-off wheel going across, but we'll flip the camera onto the old time thing.
I can come across that one little area right there.
What did you say, Steve?
I said some of the younger kids might say we can fit a little more junk in the trunk now.
And as you say, it escalated a little.
Yeah.
We've got a bit bigger hole in the back now, but that's okay. We can. We have the technology. So yeah, this piece kind of fits. Hopefully fits. That's going to go right about there.
Sweet.
Just a little bit of a push, but yeah, approximately about there. The brace underneath's easy. Then we just got to make, replace this area that we've chopped out, and then make a support for the fuel tank. And
I guess when you cut that much out, the rest of it just kind of goes right back in.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot more fitting, but if we just cut it out,
yeah, it's really not too bad.
Start over again.
We've got to get rid of that lip that we've left. Just we just buzzed it along the edge of the 90 lip, so that needs to be picked off, which is the time-consuming pain in the butt part. To do it nicely, we need to do that anyway. And this will fit a little bit better because there'll be 2 layers of sheet metal less.
Yes.
So that'll slide in there. And then we just got to adjust that to the right height so that outer panel just tucks underneath here, and we can plug weld it through here. If the spot welder will reach in, we'll spot weld it. And then it'll have a gorgeous rear end again.
Again.
All right.
It's been a long time.
You better get to it, man. Okay, so Steve's been working away on this thing, cutting the old stuff out. We just mock that up in place. That fits perfectly. I gotta say, this EMS stuff, I wish they made Mustang stuff. I was really expecting to have to do a lot of work to make this fit like you typically do with Mustang stuff and Camaro stuff. They've really knocked it out of the ballpark with the quality of this reproduction. Which brings me to my next point. We were thinking about patching up some of this rust we got down. Shoot the camera in here, Steve. You know, there's some rust in this old girl. You know, the inner and the outer, and EMS make these panels. We were originally pretty much set on the idea of just, you know, hand fabbing these up, because buying that little section for the likes of Mustangs is really just throwing good money after bad, because you have to work on them so much to make them fit. But if they're as good as these, it's going to go straight in. So I'm really thinking we need to, like, just put the brakes on, like just dab the brakes, pump the brakes, and bite the bullet and get these. To get this repair panel, which goes down here, the inner repair panel, patch panel they do, well, it's not a complete panel in actual fact. And then the back, the whole rear end of this car is going to be rust free, and it's going to be a super solid car. So the panels, I mean, you get what you pay for. The panels, you know, one thing about the Mustang parts I'm ragging on, they are very cheap. These panels, you know, certainly this stuff is quality. We haven't seen this yet, but I've no reason to suspect it'll be any different. It'll be just as good, I'm sure. And, you know, you got to pay for that good stuff, and it saves you a bunch of time. If we can just, like, cut through here, weld her in, you know, do some spot welding on the pieces, we can have the back of this buttoned up like super quick, rather than spending hours and hours and hours fabricating stuff and, yeah, trying to duplicate shapes. Because if you look in this, you know, like in that inner, it's busy. There's a lot of shapes in here. You've got this big recess in here and all the flanges, and like that's not a simple piece to make. And yeah, as I say, given the quality of the stuff, I think it's worth it. So I'm going to lean on Steve to pry open his wallet and get with EMS, and we'll order some parts, and then we'll come back and we'll blow this thing out of the park. Alright guys, so that's going to be part 2. See you on the next video. Take care.